A closer named Daniel sat down at an older couple's kitchen table and didn't open his brochure. He sold them less than they walked in wanting, talked them out of the big package, told them one option wasn't worth buying yet. And when he was done, they thanked him for it and handed him the sale. Now, how does a man sell less, argue against the deal, and still walk out closed? That's not a trick, folks. It's the one thing almost nobody in sales understands. When a customer says, "We need to think about it," most salespeople hear price. Most of the time, it was never price. It was meaning. Let me back up and show you how he got there. The way he got to that kitchen table is the whole lesson. A bathroom remodeling company had leads, phones rang, appointments booked. Sales kept dying at the kitchen table. Months before Daniel sat down, the owner had a problem he was naming wrong. He thought his team needed better closes, so he brought Daniel in. Daniel rode along and saw it immediately. Every rep sold the bathroom. Wall systems, fixtures, warranty, payment, then pressure. By day's end, Daniel said, "You don't have a closing problem. You have a meaning problem." Customers don't always know how to say what they're really buying. They say, "We want something easier to clean." They mean, "This house used to feel like ours, and now one room is making us feel old." The product is the surface. The meaning is underneath. Chris Voss, the FBI negotiator, calls it tactical empathy. People don't move on facts. They move when they feel understood. Which brings us back to that couple, Frank and Diane. The brochure stayed shut. And the one question he asked was this: "What made you finally call somebody about the bathroom?" Not, "What are you looking for?" Not, "Would you like to hear about our special?" What made you finally call? Diane looked at Frank. Frank looked down. He slipped getting out of the tub last month. Now the bathroom wasn't a bathroom. It was a warning. Was he hurt? Not bad, just bruised, Diane said, "but I heard him fall." That sentence was the real appointment. Not the acrylic, not the grab bars, the sound she heard from the other room. Daniel let it sit, then, "Since that happened, do you think about it every time he showers?" Every time. That was the sale. Daniel wasn't selling a shower. He was selling Diane the ability to sit in the other room and not listen for disaster. Then he turned to Frank. "And I'm guessing you don't love feeling like your wife has to worry every time you step into your own bathroom." Frank looked up. "No, I hate that." Now they weren't talking about a shower. They were talking about dignity. Daniel looked down the hallway. "Do you remember when you first bought this house?" Diane smiled. 32 years ago. "What did that bathroom feel like then?" Frank laughed. "New, big, like we finally had our own place." Daniel nodded. "Back then, that bathroom meant independence. Now it's taking it away." The room went quiet. That's the nostalgia bridge, tying the product back to the memory it used to protect. Then came the price. Frank looked at the number. "That's more than I thought." Here's where most salespeople panic. They defend, they discount, they talk faster. Daniel asked, "Is it the total price, the monthly payment, the timing, or the fear of making the wrong decision?" Frank paused. "The timing." Now the objection had a name. Daniel Kahneman proved it in Thinking Fast and Slow. People feel first, justify after. You can't answer an objection until you know which feeling it is. So Daniel told the truth. "If this is just about making the bathroom prettier, I'd tell you to wait." That line changed the room. But if this is about preventing the next fall, waiting has a price too. That's not pressure, that's perspective. Buying has a cost, waiting has a cost, doing nothing has a cost. Then he anchored it. Doing this right costs about what a couple spends each month on dinners out, a tank of gas, and a couple subscriptions. That's not nothing, but it's smaller than one bad fall. He didn't hide the price, he translated it. And he didn't cut it to kill the fear. The right fit solution stayed on the table, low threshold shower, grab bars where they belonged. Not the biggest package, not the cheapest patch, the one that solved the problem. If this payment steals your sleep, it's the wrong plan. I'd rather protect you in something comfortable than stretch you into something you regret." Then he did the thing almost no salesman will do. He took the biggest quote, the top package, the one with the highest commission, and he slid it across the table, face down, out of the way. "You don't need this one," he said. "Save your money." Diane looked at it sitting there. Then she looked at Daniel. "Thank you for saying that," she said. "Nobody said that to us all week." That's why they trusted him. Robert Cialdini proved persuasion sticks when it connects to something a person already values. Daniel didn't invent one. He found it at that table. Frank and Diane chose the middle option, not because Daniel closed harder, because he helped them see what the decision was really about. Most salespeople would stop there. Daniel asked one more question. "Who else do you know who still has a tub they're nervous stepping over?" Diane said. "My sister." Frank said, "Our neighbor across the street." Notice he didn't ask who else wants a bathroom. Nobody thinks that way. He asked who has the same fear. People remember problems before they remember products. And there it is, the thing from the start. He sold them less than they walked in for. He talked them off the big package, and they thanked him on the way to saying yes. That company didn't turn around because Daniel had magic words. He sold Frank his confidence back. He sold Diane peace in the other room. He sold the feeling that their home could still take care of them. A weak salesperson asks, "Can you afford this?" A professional asks, "What is staying stuck already costing you?" And once you hear the difference, selling never sounds the same again. If you've ever sat across from a customer and felt the real reason hiding under the words, drop the word "fall" in the comments. I want to know how many of you have been at that table. I go deeper every Sunday in the Illusions Off newsletter. Sales psychology, money lessons, breakdowns that don't fit in a video. Link below. Like, subscribe, tap the bell. The next breakdown is already on the table.